You leave it all behind. You travel. And of course, naturally, people are curious. What did you learn? What did you do? Before I get to that, I think for now, let's talk about why. That empty feeling was back. Restlessness, dissatisfaction. It had been coming and going. This night it was stronger than usual. As I looked out my window, the city of Ottawa below me, I couldn't help but feel tired. Tired of the predictability that was every day. The same people, the same streets, the same routine. Work, school, weekend repeat. There has to be more than this. There's so much more in the world. So much culture, knowledge, tradition, places to be seen. My heart was calling for adventure. I tried my best to ignore it. You know, it's so easy to ignore feelings these days. It's so easy to ignore yourself. It's so easy to escape. You imagine the activity, I did it. And when I found myself alone at night looking out my window, the same feelings returned. You need to go. You need to find out who you are, because truth is, at 21, I didn't know who I was. I was scared of my own company. I was busy trying to impress people, busy seeking validation, busy seeking permission from other people to be myself, that I didn't know who I was. Eventually, it got to the point where I couldn't keep lying to myself. I needed a change. I had to go someplace far, someplace where I didn't know anybody. I had to leave it all behind. I wanted to see the world, and most importantly, I wanted to find myself, my values, my purpose. We're all caught up in this notion that life is this race, and they tell us that happiness is just around the corner in this circle of life. So we run and we run. We run into our careers, we run into relationships, we run into adulthood, we run into the future without taking a moment to stop and see what direction we're going. And if that direction is the one we chose or the one society chose, the one we chose or the one we're supposed to choose, then what happens when we run without looking? We settle. We settle for relationships that are not bad, but not good. We settle for jobs that are not bad, but not good. Why? Because we're all scared. We all focus on what we don't want in our life, and we never take the time to focus on what we do want. We don't want to be lonely, so we settle in relationships. We're afraid to take a chance, so we settle in our careers, and our life just comes and passes. It wasn't good, but hey, it wasn't bad, right? The truth is, it can all be good, but we need to take the time to find out who we are and what we want. Leaving it all behind doesn't have to make sense to everyone. It only has to make sense to you. That's why I came here. If you don't know your values, how are you supposed to make decisions? You're gonna let society tell you what to do and how to live? That works, but what if you're not like other people? What if you want different things? Then you have to walk a different path. And what I'm saying is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if your path looks different than everybody else. But Arash, finding yourself doesn't pay the bills. Well, guess what? The Arash coming back home isn't the same Arash who left. When you leave it all behind, you will change, you will grow. When you come back, everything will be the same, but you will be different, and your life will be a product of your values, not society, not fear, not anybody. You might think the hardest step is leaving. You're wrong. The hardest step is coming back, saying bye to people who have changed your life, people who you will never forget, saying bye to a place in the world you will always be indebted to, saying bye to people who you know deep down you will never see again. But it's all worth it, because the journey changes you. It leaves marks on your memory, your consciousness, your heart. You take something with you, and hopefully you leave something behind.
We know folks feel really want to care.